and just talk in general about your scan, then please put your date of birth into the chat and we'll get started from there. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for starting your week with us. We also live stream to YouTube. There we go. It's on YouTube. So let's get started more officially. For those of you who don't know, we have a website here called geniusbiofeedback.com. That's where we do all of our training, which hopefully we can, not fedex.com, Genius Biofeedback. There we go. Okay, the reason I want to show you this is a couple of things I just want you to be aware of. First of all, if you'd like to share the Genius with other people, let me show you how to do that. We have a Start Here menu, which is meant to help people to understand the basics of the Genius. And so, so to understand the basics of the Genius, and so they can find out all about the Genius basics right here. What is the Genius? Who can use the Genius? How do I learn about the basics of the Genius, and so forth, okay? Now, if you want to share the Genius, what we want to do is go here for the 14-day free download. Now, this is really a great way for you to share the Genius. So let me go ahead and put this link into the chat here. All right. If you've never had a scan before, then you can go ahead and request a scan. Please do request a scan by putting your date of birth into the chat. Now, let me just tell you about this page here. Now, I know everybody's concerned about the affiliate program. Will I get my credit? The fact is that over the years, a lot of people, we've given out the affiliate links, groovy, fantastic. A lot of people don't use their affiliate link. They just go to the website. So the best thing that you can do to make sure that you get credit is have them fill out this form. Okay, when they fill out this form, they're going to get 14 days of learning sent to them, a lesson every single day, so that they can learn more about what this is. And then we teach them easy to do processes like how to have better sleep, how to do a sleep process, how to do an energy process. All that time, we're giving them lots of education. We give them access to the learning intensive, all types of things that really will help them to learn why this would be a good fit for them. When they fill this out, then just have them put who shared the Genius with you. Say, please put my name. Even so, when we talk to every person we visit with, we ask them, how did you learn about the Genius? And then we write down your name, and then we contact you after they purchase. So it's a commission, it's a straight commission, whatever package they get, doesn't matter. You get 20% of the package. So on the upgraded package, it's a $2,000 package, you get 20% of that, which is close to $400. So please share this far and wide. The thing with the Genius is that people need education. So what we've done is like my whole, everything I've tried to do is really like, here's an ebook, here's a process, here's a video, here's why you would do this, here's how you could do this, here's how you could run it as a business. That's what people really want to know. That's what they want to discover while they're sort of checking it out for the 14 days. So while they're getting 14 days of free use, we're constantly educating them and sending them tutorials. So this is really the best way to do it, because then you know that you've been signed up, and then you also know that they're getting all the information that they need. They don't have to worry about giving any of it to them. We're providing it for them. Now, I want to show you a couple of other things on the website that are really important. When you tell people about what the Genius is, they can go to this link right here, and they can learn all about the packages that we have for this month. So that's another way. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the spotlight here. Here we go. All right. So we always have the deals here. Now, the pricing stays basically the same because we never want somebody to wait for a sale. But what we do change is the bonuses. Sometimes we have this bonus. Sometimes we have that bonus. We really just try to give people a great, fair deal, no matter what package they're getting. Starter, upgraded, or elite, they get full training, they get a downloadable video package for training, they get a book. And so we just try to make it so any time of the year somebody can come and purchase the Genius and feel like they've gotten a very fair deal that they're happy with. So that's where to find those things. Now, I want for you, everybody here, to know about our Learn menu. So the learn menu is something that you may come back to time and time again. When you need to reinstall the Genius, we have Genius reinstall links, and there's other training on here for you. For example, you could learn about the quantum capsule, or you could learn about the remedy plate. Okay, so those are, you could see all of our other courses, but specifically the quantum capsule and the remedy plate you can learn about on this menu. Well, we also have the blog off of this particular menu. So when you're looking for weekly training, you can go right to the weekly training here. And this is where we list anything that we want to share with you for today, like the Meridians guide. You can click on that. And this is the one we gave out last week, so you may have downloaded it last week. But just so you know, there is the Meridian guide. So this is free to everyone. It's sort of a short version of what's in the mastery guide, and you can pick it up there. All right, so I just wanted you to know sort of some of the resources that we have for you at geniusbiofeedback.com. It's not just a website for getting the genius. It's actually a resource site where you can find out a lot of information. We also have a chat function where you can chat with us, so on and so forth. So I wanted you to know that. And then we also want to talk about the events page. So we have a great new look for the events page, and you can look at the events page here. So we do have quite a bit of things going on. We're going to be adding even more things to our week soon, but as this is pretty full. On Monday, we have our weekly training, which is right now. On Tuesday, we're talking all about terahertz. It has not been easy for people to learn what terahertz really is. So we're doing a weekly training on Tuesdays. We do now offer terahertz technology in something called the core box, which runs red and blue light, as well as wonderful terahertz technology, terahertz frequencies. And we also have the wand. So we want to teach you about it. You know, take the wand or take the core box and use it on kidney point 1, or use it on stomach 36, or here's how you can do lymphatic drainage. So we're teaching you all about that, how you can best utilize your terahertz technology. Everyone is welcome. And we do have introductory pricing on the terahertz technology. On Wednesday, those of you who are in our business membership, we're working more on your website copy, working more on your brochures, your marketing. We're reviewing your information live so that we can make it better. So those of you who are on the business membership, that will be Wednesday at 1 o'clock. If you want to join the business membership for a month and find out what it's all about, you can read about it there, and you can cancel the business membership at any time. It's just month to month, but a lot of people like it because we're really giving practical information about how to build your genius biofeedback practice, with a lot of support of the other members and me directly looking at what you're doing and giving you feedback about it. Now on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, we're going to be interviewing Greg Prescott from In5D. So if you like conversations that are about ascension and vibration and all the things that, where are we going with humanity? Are we moving into a new earth? Are things going to get better? So come to the Frequency of 528 podcast. It's a podcast that I host, and then Karen McDonald, who is just an amazing part of our community. So great to have her. She joins me. We talk often about the news, the current events, what's going on, World Economic Forum, different things going on with certain, things that they put into the arm. What could you do about it? If you had it, if somebody else had it, what should you do? We talk a lot about that. And we post that podcast to Rumble. So if you go to Rumble, you can find our Genius Biofeedback channel on Rumble as well, which is where we post a lot of those unplugged and censorship-free videos on that page. Now, at that podcast, I will also be talking about heavy metal clearing. So we'll have Greg on, and then if we have some time, hopefully towards the end, I'm going to talk about clearing heavy metals. It's a big topic right now, and whatever we don't get to on Thursday, we'll continue to talk about on the podcast on the following Thursday, which probably will be in February. Now, Library Discount Club members, we have a special bonus class where we'll be taking your questions actually about what type of process would you like to see? What kind of case would you like me to see me solve? But we'll also talk about the manifestation codes, the bonus library that everybody got for free. So that is free to the members. It's an exclusive class that we do, and it's going to be on Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So it's truly a busy week here at Genius Biofeedback. Now let's go back to today's training. We'll take your questions. We do need a volunteer to talk about the Meridian. So if somebody would like to volunteer, we would absolutely welcome you to welcome you as a volunteer and work on you. We'd love to do that. Every time we do try to do at least one scan to showcase how the Genius works and how you can work with it. So we'll do that. And let's just go ahead through this. So we're here every Monday at 9 o'clock. Next week, we're going to talk about detox strategies. So using your Genius for detox, we're going to talk about that next Monday. And I do think that's, Monday is probably the 30th, right? So next Monday is the 30th, I suppose. I got that wrong. So let's just see. It's not on Sunday. It's going to be Monday the 30th. So we could correct that on your calendar. All right. We just said that Greg is going to join us on Thursday at 6:30. All of this is available to register at our events calendar. So go to geniusbiofeedback.com, look for the events page, and then just click drop down on that menu, and you can see how to register for everything. So today we're going to talk about the Chinese meridians. The meridians are flows, waves of energy through your body. They're the energy pathways through your body. And there's a huge ability to work with the meridians via the Genius because of the very wonderful program that we have that gives you access not just to the meridians, but to the points. Now, there has been research on the meridians showing that they do actually exist, and you can trace the energy through them with a technetium, with a type of tracer. So we know that these actually exist. We are so much more energy than we are actually a physical matter. We're much more energy. And to that point, a way to really help yourself, to help your health, is to recognize that you have these different rivers of energy that flow through you, and you could expand their flow or you could contract their flow depending on what is needed at the time. Now, I think something that's really helpful is to start to understand what is the purpose of the meridians. What is the actual meridian? So we're going to talk about 3 of the meridians today. And if we don't continue next week on the meridians, we'll keep coming back to them because it's such a big, because we said we're going to do detox next week, but we'll keep coming back to the meridians because it's such a big topic and it's so much of interest to people. So we'll keep coming back to those. Now, if you have general questions about the Genius, those are absolutely welcome at our class. So you can ask general questions today. What questions do you have about the Genius that you've not been able to get answered? Now is a great opportunity for you to ask those questions. So let's see if we have a volunteer for today. Okay, so let's just see what are some of our initial questions. Can you explain the written hertz tone display of the voice after the voice is put in the Genius? I really do wish that I could, Pat. I absolutely do. But I've asked the developer for that numerous times. The developer is great. He's fantastic. He's really talented. I want to make sure I say positive things here. However, write to him, go to his website, contact him and say, gosh, golly, it sure is real nice that you're giving us all this numerical information, but we really need a better understanding. And if you could tell us more about what those numbers mean, well, it would be real helpful to us. So if you could ask him for that, that would be great. Joe says, where can I find the recordings such as Sherry Edwards? Well, Sherry Edwards saw that we had said that we were hosting Sherry Edwards on our Genius Biofeedback website, and she felt that we were saying that she was endorsing the Genius. She didn't want to do that, so she declined to come on as a guest. So we don't have a recording of our dear Sherry. We still send her love and appreciation. Colleen says, do you have 2 Rumble channels? So I don't know that we do. So Colleen, if you think we have 2, then that could be an imposter, or it could be one that we're not using. So send me the links to both so that I can check that out. Okay, Christina, let's go ahead. We'll work with you. Christina, do me a favor, Christina G. If you're interested in the scan, just go ahead and check your microphone and maybe even your camera, and just make sure that we can speak with you, because I'm going to bring you up as a panelist and then we'll do your scan. We're going to focus on the meridians, but we can focus on other things as well. So if you have something that you're working on or you want to make sure that I am aware of, then absolutely let me know. And we're going to bring you up in just one moment. So thank you so much for being part of our class today. We really, really appreciate you, as well as everybody who's joining us. We've got a great turnout today. So thank you. I think Chinese meridians is a big interest for people. So thank you so much for checking this out. So let's go ahead and we'll invite Christina up here. She's right up at the top already. That's great. Okay. So fantastic. All right, go ahead, and you're going to see that you're a panelist and you can hop on and we'll get your voice and your picture as well. So we'll continue with a new analysis. I'm going to take the picture and voice offline, and then we'll put the Genius up onto the screen in a moment. So don't know what happened to you there. Okay. You know what, Christina, hang tight for a moment. We'll come back and we'll get your voice recording in just one moment. Let me just go through this lecture here. Okay. And let's see, there's a couple of questions here. Okay, Susan, we'll get to your question. Janine, we'll get to your question in just a moment. Okay, so let's just go through this. Don't skip that one. We're not doing that this week. All right, so we want to talk about the meridians. Let's talk about the lung meridian. So we have a picture here. We can see where the lung meridian is. I think it's even beneficial just to become aware of where are those meridians on your body. Maybe even obtain one of those little mini models and start to look where this is your own body. Where are those energies flowing through your body and what do they mean? Because as you can learn acupressure or utilizing the Genius in order to move the energy, you could also use the terahertz technology, the wand or the box, to go over certain points. So those could be a strategy as well. So become aware of where these meridians are and start to learn various points. That's what we're going to point out to you today. Okay, so Christine, I'm just going to have you hang tight just for another moment. I'm so glad that you're joining us.
Thank you.
So fantastic. Yeah, thank you. Are you a Genius owner?
Sorry, what is that?
Are you a Genius owner, or are you just checking it out on the trial?
No, I'm actually I'm intending to get the Genius. Yes.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. All right, let me just gonna go ahead and have you hang tight for just a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna get your voice and your picture. I'm so happy that you've joined us. All right, so I'll go ahead and mute you there, make it a little bit easier for you. Thank you so much. We're gonna bring you back just in just a heartbeat, but let's just go through this quickly. So the lung meridian controls the energy and circulates the blood. Just think about all the chi, the energy that flows through your lungs. It has been said that we actually can take in a lot of toxins through the lungs, but we can also detox through our lungs. There's a great book about the power of breathing, and it states that 60% of toxins can be eliminated through our breath. And really inhaling, getting oxygen is important, and also exhalation, getting rid of carbon dioxide, making sure that we're respiring enough to really, because oxygen, right, brings in all that we need to make energy in the body. Really, oxygen, we don't maybe really know what it does, but what it does is it combines with glucose to make ATP and something called aerobic respiration, gives us all the energy in the body. So we have to have properly functioning lungs, healthy lung meridian in order to stay healthy and energized. So it controls the energy, it circulates the blood. And just in Western medicine as well, you want to think about the heart is nestled right between the lungs, conveniently and locationally very strategic, because we're constantly circulating back and forth between lungs and heart. Heart is pumping the deoxygenated blood to the lungs, and lungs are constantly returning oxygenated blood to the heart. So very important to take care of heart and lungs. They work in a pair, they work together. And when one is out of balance, the other one could be out of balance as well. So the lungs and the heart work in conjunction with the blood and the energy. And even if you think about wonderful poses like the warrior pose in yoga, and that type of posturing, those balancing postures like that, and especially warrior pose, that particular configuration is balancing heart and lung energy. And Trikonasana as well, triangle pose, is also doing that, where you're basically sort of tipping over and reaching one arm up and the other arm down. All of that is a powerful balancing and strengthening of heart and lungs. So lungs control skin and perspiration. Interesting, if you have a lung meridian imbalance, you may not sweat properly. So if you're one of those people, no matter how hot it gets, you just don't sweat, that could be some type of a lung meridian imbalance. All right, another view of the lung meridian. Imbalances in the lung meridian, you might get an upper respiratory infection, you might get sick. So it's interesting, we only think in Western medicine that virus is a germ. Oh, virus is this germ. The germ is just flying out there like a bird. And if you're not careful, that, the virus might hit you, and you could be doing absolutely nothing else. You're going to end up with the virus. That is the furthest from the truth that it could be. Yes, there may be a germ that's going around, but there's also the function of terrain. If you're a person who eats a lot of sugar or has a lot of blocked energy or very poor digestion, all of this contributes to you being a great, receiver of the virus, a great manifester of the virus. And you could also be a poor manifester by having good lung strength and also doing things to support your immune system. One of the most important things is to prevent these wind invasion during the winter time. This will make you much less susceptible to any type of virus or bacteria. And that means always wearing a scarf outside when it's cool temperature, cool and damp especially, and that protects the back of your neck. Your back of the neck is highly susceptible to wind invasion. So it's these are sort of, in Chinese medicine, these are thought as these external energies that can be invasive and change your energy field in such a way to make you lose energy and make you more susceptible to a virus or some type of pathogen. And also a hat covering the top of the head. So the top of the head is another place where you can have wind invasion. And when I was in school, we had the naturopathic side and we had the classical Chinese medicine side. And these two students go to the same school. But we see on the Chinese medicine side is every single student, just as soon as in September, Labor Day, it starts to rain, every single classical Chinese medicine student is wearing a hat and a scarf pretty much from September until the end of March, because they're not going to get a wind invasion. So there's also emotional energies associated with the meridians being out of balance. And that can be very interesting, because when you think about it, when you balance those meridians in your genius, you are addressing mind, body, and spirit. And so it makes the whole meridian system very, very powerful to work with. Last time we talked about a tonic Chinese medicine session. We're going to mention that again, where you could balance all of the red and blue meridians and then all of the red and blue points together in the quick step, or maybe in the progressive insight. So you're only working with the Chinese medicine meridians and maybe the solfeggios and the flower essences, because the meridians are so all-encompassing. Okay, remember to put any questions you have, any topic about the genius. On Mondays, we can get to your questions. We'll answer as many as we can. Now, the most active time for the lung meridian is between 3 and 5 a.m. So that's the time when there's all these different cycles, and it cycles just through the time of the day. It cycles through when a meridian is more active than another one. So if you wake up between 3 and 5 a.m., it may be the lung meridian that there may be an imbalance in. Now, the second meridian we're covering today is the stomach meridian. Now, the stomach meridian, if you look at it, you can't even fit the picture on one image. It has to be two images. It actually has an incredible, I think it has the most points of any meridian. It has 45 points on the stomach meridian. The stomach transports energy throughout the meridian system. So always the meridian is related to the organ that it is named for. So of course, there's going to be stomach function. There's going to be lung function. But as we get deeper into the meridians, there's other things about the stomach meridian besides just about the stomach. And that would be a more advanced learning because there's different points that represent different things. But this is the overall theme of the meridian. Helps to transform food into chi, right? We eat food and that is a pleasurable experience, but why do we eat the food? Well, in Western thought, it's like, well, the food is converted to energy, so we have energy to move, and that's great. And in Chinese medicine, they think about it a little bit more deeply, that food is transformed into chi, giving that life force energy, giving us the life force, the spirit energy to do what we do. So a little bit of different, they meet in the middle, both of them are true. And when we weave them together, we can see perhaps the whole truth about who we are. Deficiencies can lead to feelings of confusion, not feeling grounded, or anxiety. So it's fascinating to see that there's an emotional issue that can arise from the imbalance in the meridian, and therefore maybe we don't need tons of antidepressants and psychoactive medications. Perhaps people just need to balance their meridians to feel less anxiety, to feel more grounded. The stomach meridian works in conjunction with the spleen. They're paired. It's most active between 7 and 9 in the morning. When you think about that, that's fascinating. That's the time people are eating their breakfast, right? So the stomach meridian being active, that works well, right? It's the longest meridian containing 45 points. Any dysfunction in the stomach immediately creates imbalances in other organs. And so that really does dovetail nicely with Western naturopathic thought, which is that all disease starts in the gut. And any disease, whether it's fibromyalgia, whether it's autoimmune, whether it's cancer, whether it's just a bloated belly, all of these things can be healed through healing the gut. Obviously, bloating, that's an obvious connection, but all these other things, it becomes almost like when you a naturopath and you learn all these different pathologies, your mind wants to go into all these different directions. But if you get down to basics, no matter what somebody has, a skin condition, a headache, all of these things can be made better through cleaning up the gut. And you kind of think you're just such a simpleton because you're just going to do simple things for healing such an, elaborately complex disease. But it really is about getting back to basics in order to allow the body to heal itself. And that's what the genius does as well. These wonderful tones and frequencies that come from the genius, they're all oriented in such a way in order to remind the body how to heal itself. All right. Nature is a self-organizing system. We go into the forest and it's like everything somehow is in balance. All the trees that have fallen over, they get absorbed back into the earth somehow. There's a balance, and we are of nature. We are self-organizing systems. Now, the problem is that sometimes we can have obstacles to cure, that being a toxin, that being electromagnetic frequencies, that being an emotional block. But if we remove the obstacles to cure, the body will move instantly in to heal itself. There's such a force of wellness within the body. It's happening all the time. It really is keeping us healthy the majority of the time, even when we're not doing anything. And so we have that incredible force within us that keeps us healthy. That is that self-organizing system. And we really have to do like Herculean things to the body that are like wrong, that are against nature in order to really get the body to be sick, because it's the most unnatural form or state of the body is to be sick. The most natural is to be well, is to be full of energy, is to feel good. So if we just give little subtle changes to the body, clean up the diet a little bit, give them some frequency, you will see incredible leaps and bounds in the people that you're working with. It's not that difficult. Some forces that be wanted you to think that healing was so complicated. It took a very elaborate, expensive medicine, but that turns out the truth. It could be just the opposite. All right, so let's look at see if everything is okay in the chat here. All right, we're going to get to some of your questions in just a moment, and we'll get to some of your comments. So the stomach meridian, there's a point on the stomach meridian we covered in the terahertz class, because you could run terahertz frequencies over this point. You can run it like in a circular motion with the wand or the box. You could find stomach 36 on your Genius and you could run it. But this is a very significant point. It shows you right here how to land it on the point, sort of around between the tibia and the fibula. The stomach is also associated with our ability to assimilate new ideas, sort out ideas and focus. And so this point, stomach 36, is called Ju San Li, or leg 3 miles. It was designed to work on that point, to give the person to go the extra miles, to go that last 3 miles, to completely revitalize you and give you your energy back. So that's what stomach 36 is for. And hopefully this will cooperate. Okay, so the third meridian that I wanted to talk about today is the kidney meridian. So it's a little bit easier to take the education about the meridians in bite-sized pieces, because it's very complex. It's a new concept to us. And so let's just grasp a few meridians at a time. So the kidney meridian is one of the most important meridians. And what you could do is you could work on the kidney meridian, only work on the kidney meridian, or include the kidney meridian for every single session that you do. And you will make a difference, because the kidney meridian is the one that really is hurting in Western society, because we do all types of crazy things. We stay up late, we drink, take stimulants, drink coffee, eat sugar, get stressed out emotionally. And all of these things really tap out the kidney meridian. And what they do is they use up a lot of our kidney jing, our vital force energy, some of it that we were given at birth, depending on the health of our parents, and then some that we took care of. So good night's sleep. What does Christiane Northrup say? 12 midnight, or not 60 is the new 40 is what she says. 60 is the new 40. And that 9 p.m. is the new midnight. Like, everybody's trying to get to bed as early as possible. And she's right. Like, that's a great youthing practice. At 9:30, between 9:30 and 10 would be ideal. Before 10:30 for sure, because then Ayurvedically we move into a pitta state at 10:30. So if you've ever tried to get into bed early and you couldn't quite get there by 10:30, you get this uptick of energy if you're not sleeping by 10:30. So back to the kidney meridian, which is where we store all of our life force. And when we get to bed early, we actually build up our Jing energy. When we eat nourishing foods, we build up that Jing energy like a savings account. When we're really, really stressed out, we're burning the candle at both ends, we deplete our Jing energy. So we always want to be working on supporting our Jing energy. So even just running the frequencies of the kidney meridian or working on the kidney points, that could be a tonic session of its own, or you may want to include kidney meridian with every session that you do for this reason. So the kidney is considered to be the root of life, essential vital force energy, and it regulates the formations of memories and rationality. So the kidney meridian being intact is about how do you maintain your cognitive ability. And kidney meridian is also related to hearing. So if the kidney meridian becomes depleted or out of balance in some way, this could also lead to loss of hearing. So how healthy that kidney meridian stays over a lifetime is how somebody maintains their cognitive sense, their good hearing quality, ability to hear. And they're showing you we're seeing some of the kidney meridian being shown there. I believe the kidney meridian, it runs along the front of the body, as you're seeing there, and then you see kidney 1 at the bottom. This is another one that we talked about. It's talked about a lot in the Young Living Oils community as well, for applying certain essential oils there. You can also go out and put your feet on the morning dew in the, right at dawn, and that will give your kidneys a burst of energy. The kidney meridian will be good for that, because it affects kidney number 1, kidney point 1, which is called bubbling spring. And if you watch anyone who talks about Chinese medicine or Tai Chi, they'll also give you a tip to basically tap, or you could even, if this was kidney 1, you could stimulate it like this. You could sort of tap on it. You could even just like sort of punch it. The people have wisdom about kidney 1 is any way that you can get energy to that point, constantly be stimulating kidney 1 for energy, like throughout your whole life. That bubbling spring energy is a very, very amazing energy to bring out, to cultivate, to support in your body. So kidney 1 is sort of a magical point. We were telling people also to run the terahertz frequencies over kidney 1. The way to do that is circular motion, usually anywhere between 15 and 60 seconds will make a difference. Okay, so kidney meridian imbalances, immune deficiency, memory issues, hearing loss, tinnitus, back pain, and short attention span. So we're giving people all types of medications for ADD. Maybe it's just that their kidney meridian is out of balance. You may be able to see that when you test them with the Genius. Okay, so now it's time for testing, as well as we're also going to be answering your questions. So Christina has been so patient. Christina, we're going to bring you back on here so we can get your voice and your picture. Okay, so Christina, hopefully you can pop back in. You know, we've been, there we go. Okay, welcome back. All right.
Okay.
And Christina, where are you joining us from today? Are you in the States? Are you in Canada?
No, I'm in Canada, in not far from Kelowna.
Okay, great.
British Columbia.
Okay, great. Fantastic. All right, well, let's record your voice. In order to record your voice, I'm going to cue you and tell you when to start talking. Get that in there. And then when you talk, just go ahead and say your name. My name is, and then just keep saying the vowels over again. So A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U. And then we'll be able to analyze your frequency wave, who you are as a frequency, through your voice. Does that sound okay?
Yep.
Okay, I'll start recording in 3, 2, 1. I'm recording.
My name is Christina Jennifer Gross. I-A-E-O-U, 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 A-I-E-O-U, A-I-E-O-U, A-I-E-O-U.
Awesome. We did great. That's fantastic. It doesn't matter if they're not in order or you missed a vowel or anything like that. We're really just trying to get some different intonations of your voice. So even if you said something different, if you decided you wanted to say an affirmation, all of those things are fine. Somebody could sing happy birthday and it would still be fine. So you didn't make any mistakes. That was a perfect way to get your voice. And now we're just going to take your picture. So in just a moment, I'm going to get that ready. And let me just go ahead and bring the camera up to do that. And I'll tell you when I'm going to be taking it. Wonderful. Quick smile. Okay, that's great. I love it. What is that beautiful sort of tapestry in the background?
Oh, it's a batik from Tanzania.
Oh, did you travel there?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I lived there at one point.
And how was that? Was that a good time in your life?
Well, I was a child, but I went back actually for a little holiday and then later on for business.
Oh, how wonderful. Is there anything distinguishing about it? Is the nature beautiful or the people there very nice to connect with?
Oh, well, I mean, it's all about the people for me at any rate, but yeah, of course, there's the safaris that you can go on, you know, to see the animals.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, is there anything in particular that you'd like me to focus on for you?
Well, I had, I guess, this brain surgery for Cushing's disease. So I had an adenoma removed from my pituitary gland.
Okay.
And then more recently, I had a heart attack in September.
Oh, no. Oh, no. In September. So how are you doing since that time?
Well, I mean, I was actually feeling, I guess, a bit more lively before I had my brain surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Cushing's disease, I lost so much physical strength. It was shocking. And it all happened in a matter of about 2.5 weeks. And my core strength is so weak now that I had trouble actually getting out of my bed or getting off a massage table without
Oh
help.
my goodness. Well, we better work on your kidney meridian to bring you back some of that Jing vital force energy. You've been through quite a lot. I think you're going to really like having the genius as a way to sort of see how things are going, how things are changing, but also as a way to give yourself back some of that vital force energy and have a way of giving yourself these essential frequencies each and every day. I think it will really help you tremendously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem is I believe that I had the Cushing's cyclically for 30 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
And then this last
aware
time,
of it.
Yeah. And then I wasn't aware of it. And it took, of course, quite a lot of advocating on my part to actually get a diagnosis finally.
So Cushing's is the
Too much cortisol.
Adrenal sort of a hyper adrenal function, and where it's actually, putting out a lot of cortisol because of either it's autoimmune or a tumor. So yours was a tumor.
Mine was a tumor, and it was secreting ACTH.
ACTH comes from the pituitary, and it causes the adrenals to pump out a lot of cortisol.
And I blimped out. Yeah, I blimped out a lot. And then secondary conditions were.
Do you say you blinked out a lot? Do you say you blinked? I passed out?
I blimped out to 236 pounds.
Oh, you're saying you gained. So that happens. And it also happens for people who take like steroid drugs like prednisone, because that forces a lot of cortisol to be produced. And really, if you're having a lot of cortisol pumping throughout your body, it means you're always elevating that blood sugar. And if you're elevating the blood sugar, then you're elevating your insulin levels. And insulin is the main thing that causes fat storage. So it'd be very easy to gain a lot of weight as a result. So, and also I would think you would have been experiencing, maybe stress or sleep imbalances, things like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, everything was going downhill, and to the point where I pretty much knew that if I wasn't going to get properly treated soon, I was going to die in about a month or so.
Okay, wait 1 second, because that was a very important statement and we didn't quite hear it because the aura analysis is running. So just give us 1 second for this to run. Let's see what your aura looks like in just a moment here. I mean, that one just seems like it takes forever. Okay, so, but it's worth it because we'll talk about the colors in a moment. So what were you saying was happening? You were the last part.
So you can actually die from this condition if you're not treated
right
in a timely manner. And so in my particular case, I guess it became obvious that there was something along those lines that was wrong. But I had an internist who was playing endocrinologist. So then I finally realized, that if I didn't get proper treatment, I was going to die. And this was not a matter of fear. It was just, no, it was a knowing that I had. And then I got to this endocrinologist who then immediately put me on ketoconazole, which is a very strong fungicide. So I had to have my blood tested on a regular basis to see that my liver was able to handle this.
I see. Well, let me do some comments and work on you and come back and talk with you a bit more as we get more through your scan. Would that be okay?
Oh, yes.
All right, fantastic. Okay, Christina, thank you. And I'm so glad you found the genius, because I think it will help you tremendously in your healing journey. All right, so we're going to look at this aura and talk about So when somebody comes to you and they tell you they have these things, you actually could be very, very skillful, even if you don't have a health background, just by your willingness to learn. So you could write down a few things. You could write down, I heard adrenals, I heard cortisol, I heard something about the brain, okay, pituitary involvement, all of those things. And you could research, you could just go to the Mayo Clinic website and just read all about Cushing's. And I say Mayo Clinic because I do find it to be the most reliable and easiest for the layperson to understand. It tells you all about the symptoms, the prognosis, the cause, things like that. And then you decide, okay, I bet she was really emotionally stressed out by this. I'm going to include emotions. I bet we should work on her adrenals. I bet we should work on the brain. And it's as simple as that. You don't have to worry about getting anything wrong, because anything that you put in there that the body doesn't need, the higher consciousness will just reject. The innate intelligence will reject that. So do your best to learn about the condition, and then you put in the harmonious elements that could help. There's no frequency in the genius that could be wrong. There's no frequency in the genius that would be harmful. These are only positive energies. So she's working with a very dark, deep purple, which to me reminds me of maybe something going on with the blood, that there might be some congestion in the blood, because it's not like a clear purple, but is a very beautiful purple, which is going to be more about your actually having to do with the pineal gland and the chakra in here. It's not just that gland, because it could be related to the brain and the pituitary as well. So that's coming up as being the main themed issue. And then on the outside, we have a green ring, so dealing with the fourth or heart chakra. And then we have an orange ring dealing with the second chakra. And we have a yellow ring dealing with the third chakra. But look how sort of cloudy or almost smoky the third chakra looks. So digestive cleansing would definitely be helpful for this entire case. All right, so we took a picture of that. You could also email it or print the picture of the aura. Now let's go back and let's look at some basics. So let's go through basic process number 1, and we'll also look at some of these other things. So we want to go ahead to today's stress, and we see virus and acid. And also there's the kidneys and there's the brain. So the kidneys would have been really tapped out kidney meridian wise for the energy, the adrenals. Virus could be a subclinical virus. You know, the high levels of cortisol suppress the immune system. Think of when you have some type of an itch, right? Maybe mosquito bite or some type of a rash. And in the immediate moment, you just want to stop the itching. So what do you get? Some hydrocortisone cream. You just want to make that thing stop. You put the hydrocortisone cream and magically the itching stops, the rash stops. What happened? In that moment, at that point of the rash or itch, you suppress the immune system inflammatory response. So there's a huge suppression of the immune system when you have very high levels of circulating cortisol. So that was probably an impact, something that impacted her from having those high circulating levels of cortisol for an extended amount of time. The acidity, it's not clear what that would be from, but getting on some type of alkalizing diet, greens, alfalfa, barley grass would probably be very beneficial. Something from the environment, and she probably still is getting a handle on getting her blood sugar back into balance after everything that's happened. Then we see bacteria, infection, degeneration, and connective tissue. Now, I'm not going to go through everything, but let's just note it mentally. And let's go ahead to organs, tells us the bladder. And remember, bladder is paired with kidneys. So again, we'd want to look at that kidney meridian in just a moment. Let's go to glands. We're just going through basic process number 1. You can see on our website all about the basic processes under education. Okay, ovaries. This definitely would have impacted the hormonal system, because any change to the brain could also, in the pituitary, could also be affecting the ovaries, because there's a lot of signaling that comes from the pituitary down to the adrenals, but also down to the reproductive organs. And then we see hypothalamus, that's also in the brain and probably was part of this whole piece that she was dealing with. Then we go to glands. So we see, sorry, we've already did that. So glands, then we go to digestion, and it says mouth, small intestine, esophagus, enzymes, and stomach. Oh, geez, I need to do that. So we'll include those. quickly in there, the blue ones as well. Very nice. Okay. And then we have flower essences. So we want to get the emotions in there in just a moment. So we have wild rose. Wild rose is drifting and resignation. So sometimes just not feeling that hopeful, not knowing what to do. And let's look at the one at the bottom. Rock water. You're gonna have to look that one up, but let's just keep going because I really want to look at these other things. And I also want to look at the meridians. Let's get right to the meridians. So it tells us bladder and gallbladder. Very interesting. Kidney meridian is on here. It's at 555, but I'm going to include it anyway. And then gallbladder, and we can look at gallbladder here. So let's look at bladder first. Let's get bladder included here. So let's see if we have it. Oh, is it missing from here? No. Bladder eliminates waste and balances the autonomic nervous system. Imbalance is connected to lower back pain as well as urinary issues. Imbalance can cause a person to feel fearful or feel stubborn, unmoving. The positive one is gentleness. The negativity is fear. Remember, it's paired with that kidney meridian. So it makes sense for us to include that as well, especially with all of the adrenal stress that she's had. So really interesting. On the kidney meridian, there's nothing red. And that to me says exhaustion, real exhaustion and tapping out of the reserves because there's nothing in red, but there's only blue. So what I would probably do here is I would pick up some of these higher 600 items because she almost doesn't have enough energy to get into, to push into that red sort of inflamed energy zone. All right, and then the gallbladder, let's pick up, she does have some reds and she does have some blue, so let's pick those up. Let's move in quickly to, let's just talk about these other meridians and we want to get to your questions because I'm going to push into the progressive insights for a moment. Then we'll come back and we'll do some things that are more case specific. So just looking at the gallbladder meridian, aids in digestion for muscular energy. That's interesting because you've ever have muscle wasting or sarcopenia, so that could be related. Stores and concentrates the bile. Meridian balance can lead to insomnia and stiffness in the muscles. Stiffness in the muscles being related to gallbladder meridian. Meridian that needs balancing and often manifests as indecision. So when you can't make up your mind, it could be a gallbladder imbalance and bitterness, right? Being resentful in some way, being bitter. And we do see the ones that we covered today. Stomach and lung meridian are also pretty low because we do look at things that are below 200. So let's go ahead and include those as well. And let's pick up those points. We've just got a few points from the lung meridian. The lung meridian is like the shortest meridian in the body. And so it doesn't have a lot of points on it. Remember, this one is the longest one with the 45 points. All right, so let's go right into progressive insights so that we can just talk about some other things and give her some balancing at the same time. So bladder, I feel like bladder and kidney being paired was probably the most important one to consider for her, but lung 8 comes up, stomach 16, the stomach meridian, and a few other things coming up here. Let's go ahead and balance that for a good minute for her. Let's go ahead and bring this sound down and try to remember if rock water was about flexibility, because I think rock water is related to the kidney meridian. I'm just going to my success desk reference cards. We're going to go a little bit long today, so if you can hang in there, we'll probably go to 15 or maybe even probably 15 minutes past the hour. Okay, rock water. Release hardened soul forces, break up old patterns held in the fascia and muscles. So it is about flexibility. So rock water is very connected to the whole kidney bladder and about being flexibility, getting in with the flow, going with the rhythms of life. Those are all connected. All right, let's go to some of your questions going all the way back to the beginning here, but let's start with the ones that you just asked. So they're sort of in time. I didn't see kidney meridian on the guide. Did I miss something? No, you didn't miss anything. I probably missed it. So you can just maybe just shoot me an email and say, I think kidney meridian is missing and needs to be added. I'd be more than happy to do that. But bladder meridian is on there. I didn't see kidney meridian on the guide. Bladder, kidney are the same. They're not the same. They're different. But Wendy, thank you for asking. I appreciate it. We got a great little ding from that. So we're going to do a rescan, and we're going to see if there's other things that come up to the top. All right. So, okay. For anybody who's posting free PDF downloadable charts, I do appreciate it, but I didn't get a chance to review it. I didn't get a chance to approve it. So I would rather not, but I do appreciate that it's posted. I do. Thank you. And so actually Christina says, I have ovarian cysts. That's really interesting. So a cyst is something that builds up when we're not able to completely release the energy. We're not able to completely digest or release the waste. So this is an opportunity, an invitation to really work on the digestive system. Would be one of the most wonderful things to do, is to clean up the digestion. We have a reference to PubMed. I'm not sure what the PubMed, but that's a great website to look up to learn. Really, PubMed is more about research that has been done, but another great reference. And the easy guide to the meridians, let me explain again. When we have anything that we're highlighting in class, Fran in particular and everyone, go to geniusbiofeedback.com. So let me type it into the chat. Go to geniusbiofeedback.com. Then go to the Learn menu. Then go to the Blog menu on the drop-down. Click on the particular thing that we're talking about today, and then you can get it. Honestly, I'm working on switching from Zoom to Adobe Connect, where we'll be able to do things, I think, a lot more creative things in our webinars. It's a big learning curve, but I'll be able to post things more directly where they don't just disappear. But the reason that we put everything into the blog was so that anybody could get those references at any time. The downloadable Meridian guide that I did for today is the one that you see on the screen, and it is linked. However, if there's other ones being posted, I haven't reviewed them. Certainly anybody could go to anywhere online and just go ahead and put acupuncture meridians and download any darn thing that you want to. But the reason that we did this one is because I've tried to take some time to simplify it and make it super easy. And that's why we did this particular guide. So all is well, all is good. It's all good. No big deal. All right. So kidney meridian is missing. Kidney meridian is missing. Kidney meridian is missing. We'll definitely add it in. We'll come back with one that is updated. Thank you so much for letting me know. All right. So, all right. Except the governing and conception vessels, they run on the back of the body. Now, I think the governing vessel, yeah, the governing vessel goes in the front, and the other one goes on the back. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's see. You guys just try to, instead of, posting things, just try to get some really good comments in here, because our time is rather short. And what we're really trying to do is in the support email all week long, we get questions from people. I want to know this about the genius. I want to know that about the genius. So if you can bring really awesome questions to class, it really helps our whole community. What is the relationship of radionics to the genius? We actually did a class called the Energy Medicine course. I don't know if that's one of the courses that you took, Inanna, but that's a really good course where we talked all about radionics. The concept of radionics is that you can broadcast out your thoughts, that your thoughts can be broadcast out in an intentional way. And that the radionics is like the concept of a scalar broadcast, that a broadcast is not just local, that it can go out remotely. And so with the genius, we do a broadcast, a remote broadcast. And anytime you're doing a remote broadcast, you could consider that to be scalar. I mean, really, in a lot of ways, it's just really in tune with the energy of quantum physics, with the energy of the universe. The universal quantum, the quantum universe we live in is deeply interconnected. And when you're thinking of someone, they may pick up on that you're thinking about them, right? And then they pick up the phone, they call you. It's because of this interconnectedness. And so radionics is really something that is woven into just the whole concept of quantum biofeedback. Susan says, is there a way that we can generate a report that we can send to a client showing the different organs and different parameters, such as I have in the Nest and Quest machines? Susan, I think if you didn't know about that report by now, like you would know that it exists. It just doesn't exist on the Genius, but you did bring up a really good point. I did want to show this. We've shown this in the business membership, and I particularly wanted to show it for Christina because it might show something different than we see all the time. Was we do have some new reporting functions, and the ones that I find to be the most relevant are actually the quick overview. So the quick overview allows you to send sort of the highest read items right to the client. And so the client's going to be happy because they get some taste of what was on their session, and that could be really beneficial to them. Okay, there's something about vitamin B5, and this is related to energy. And then silica was the #1 top mineral that came up for me. And wild rose was another one. So they get that information, and you can get it to them quickly. Okay. And then here, I'm not sure. I'm going to chat with the developer today anyway. I'm not sure about these numbers, but anyway, it does give us a report that tells us about the energy level. This gives us 90% score for energy, degenerative energy, which is something you want less of. Now this, actually, I do think this is significant because you usually don't see degenerative energy. For most people, it tends to be around 10%. And here, Christina is a great idea, a great example, because she's been through so much with her health lately. And we send her blessings and love and healing and all of that, but she has been having quite a few challenges, and actually you can see it reflected in the degenerative energy. So let's read about degenerative energy. An estimation of the degenerative energy is the energy of oxidative stress. So when you have an active disease process, this will cause the uptick of the degenerative energy. There's more metabolic energy going on. There's more oxidative stress going on. And so this degenerative energy says there might be an active process that you are trying to heal, and it's at 50. So if you print this report out the next time that she comes in, or as you're working over time, you want this score to go down. The one I took exception with for her is I wondered about the 90%, but that's a great score. And I hope it is accurate based on things you may have been doing while you've been in the process of healing over the past few months. And then counterproductive energy, we do tend to see this in the lower number, because you do want a lower counterproductive energy. So it is interesting that she's at 50%. And then 50% is kind of average in toxicity for what I'm seeing. So counterproductive energy, let's see what it is. An estimation of the ability to convert your energy intake into resourceful energy. The amount of energy your body spends on counteracting disruptive energies or imbalances in your body, like food allergies, autoimmune response, etc. They're not cellular, but can be systemic. So this is going to be like, how much energy do you need to fight an active process? How much are you fighting an autoimmune condition? How much are you fighting against the food allergies that you're having? And so this is 50%. So these are good notations where we would want to get a starting point, a base point, and we'd want to work down from there or work up from there. And certainly toxicity is another one we would want to work down from. All right. Okay, Carol, thank you for bringing a guest today. And we certainly would, if you had just, next time, just maybe it's Christina, but just put their name and date of birth if they're ready to volunteer, and they're there ready to volunteer. Just go ahead and put their name next time into the chat. We always will work on at least one person. All right, so we got a couple of things that were answered already. All right, we did have a lot of questions. Some people put questions into the Q&A, which is great. Let's see those. All right, so Susan asked the same one in the Q&A. That's totally fine. I have a client who developed gout. Best way to use the Genius. We actually have a kidney gout in a kidney library series. But so gout is a kidney imbalance, eating too rich food. So food that is too rich, too fatty, too much alcohol. Those things tend to encourage the development of gout. It's all about cleansing, cleaning up the diet, cleaning up the gut, cleaning up the kidney. So you could use kidney Meridian, any of the kidney libraries. But this doesn't, gout for sure does not happen in a vacuum. And if you say, well, the person eats pretty well, it's just, that's not the right diet for them. They should definitely get on a plant-based diet, definitely get on a low-fat diet, definitely get on a no alcohol diet, and their kidney issue will magically start to clean up. But you can use those other frequencies as well. And when you have something like that that's based on sort of dietary excess, and we have to be very careful and kind about how we talk about that with our client, but you may want to use emotional frequencies, because there's something that may be causing them to unknowingly, indulge and try to soothe themselves with food. Do you have a process for atonic balancing? Lynn, I don't know what you mean by atonic balancing. Malika says the rectification numbers now show up before any frequencies are run. What does that mean? Where do these numbers come from? Okay, Malika, I'm not aware of rectification numbers showing up before any frequencies that are run. If any rectification numbers would show up before frequencies are run, that would mean there's something called a bug. A bug should be reported directly to the developer. So if you don't know how to get in touch with the developer, you certainly could send us a message and we'll steer you in the right direction. Very, very good. Okay, let's go back to Christina. Let's just want to do a few more things before we go and talk with her. So just really quickly, let's just go to our custom libraries and let's go ahead, drop down. We're going to use the library search function and we're going to search for root cause. So, whoops, I didn't run it. It didn't begin the analysis yet. So that rectification that we're seeing at the bottom is from the balancing that we did in Progressive Insights. So we're just going to go, I think, like 4 more minutes here. We're going to get a lot accomplished in 4 minutes, and then we're going to go back and talk with Christina because she has some information to share with us. Oh, heavens. Okay, so what we want to do here is root cause. So I just want to see if there's anything that we could add into the equation. Keyboard is not cooperating. All right, so now why isn't the search function working? Oh, giggles, giggles, ha ha, hoo hoo. Take it lightly. Don't get upset. All right, let's see if this works. Once again, root cause. Okay, it's working. Okay, there we go. And spinal misalignment contributing to the root cause. Thyroid function is low. Parasite infection, calcifications of vessels, that could be related to heart. Past emotional trauma continuing to the root cause. H. pylori is at the root cause. That's really interesting. So definitely working on the gut, a total digestive cleanse would be so helpful. We should really bring them back. I think we should do probably a new basic course on digestive cleansing and the health of the digestive system, because it's just so part and parcel to everything that you could really help people by understanding. And we do have a digestive webinar for practitioners, which is on the practitioner section. We may even do a new one that's digestive detox, just because it's so important. You could help people so much by explaining to them what their digestive system is and what they should do to help to improve it. Frontal sinus infection, let's see, chronic excessive emotional stress, allergies, inability to forgive oneself, muscle loss, because the all that cortisol will cause muscle loss because of the cortisol's influence on the hormonal system will cause more of the breakdown of muscle. It kind of interesting. So let's go back to Progressive Insights and just see what comes up at the so we did the reds and the blues from the root cause, and we just want to see if there's anything in particular that comes up here that's important. And so let's take a look. A thyroid function, dust. A dust in the house acts like an endocrine disruptor, and it can cause hormonal imbalances or excess toxicity. So getting a good air purifier is helpful. Head injury, trauma from head injury. So let's balance this just for a minute, and then we're going to go to Christina and talk with her. I want to check the ending aura as well, and just see if there's anything else in the chat that I missed. Lorraine says, how interesting. Oxidative stress is the first thing I measure in dry blood morphology. So she looks at the dry blood. It sets the stage for where to produce, where to proceed. Thank you. That's very, very cool. I like that, Lorraine. We appreciate you. We have to get you back on the podcast and talk with you a little bit about what you do and how you do your analysis. Okay. How many minutes do we run the kidney meridian? You could just run the kidney meridian. Maybe we'll just show that what that would look like in the quick zap tray. You can run it for a minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It's up to you, Don. And you can see what the rectification percentage is. You really don't get the you get the rectification percentage. You can do that after a minute. And if the rectification percentage is 40% or more, you don't need more minutes. Oh, did we get a minute? Okay. So let's go back to the, now that did only say 39%. So I could have gone another minute, but just for time sake here, let's go back and see what that ending aura is. In the meantime, let's go ahead and bring Christina back on. So Christina, we're going to bring you back on here. There we go. And see, how has this information been landing with you? Tell us a little bit about some of the things you were saying in the chat, in the comments.
Oh yes. I mean, all of that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, you mentioned that you've had gout, and I think there were a couple of other things. Oh, that you had the ovarian cysts, and anything else that kind of struck you as we were talking? And you said, "Oh my gosh, that's really resonates with me."
Oh yeah, I think I've actually done. When was it? Yeah. So over the years, I've done 7-day Dr. Iron's colon cleanses, liver gallbladder flushes, and there was always good results from that.
Excellent.
But then I guess my cortisol must already have been very high, and high enough that I tried to go in a program of super healthy eating, and it was something that I did kind of online, but it was a group type of a thing.
No, that's fantastic. No, that's great.
And that didn't work. That didn't work at all for me.
Okay, hang on for 1 second. So what do people see in the difference? If you can just put into the chat while we get ready to wind up here, what do you see as the difference in the two auras? Put some comments into the chat, and let's talk about what are the difference that you see in the two auras, and then I will give my rendition as well. Christina, what some people consider to be a cleanse, what some people consider to be a healthy diet is so varied from person to person. I can only go on what my years of research and my results from people that I've worked with have shown me. So I would say what maybe was recommended during that cleanse, maybe it wasn't the right thing at the right time. I don't know. But in general, digestive cleansing, I think, would be very, very helpful. If you want to email me, I'll give you all the details of what my thoughts are, and you can send me a message at ariel@geniusbiofeedback.com. All right, Christina, thank you for being part of our class today. I appreciate you.
Oh, it was marvelous. Thank you so much. I sort of feel vindicated.
You did great. You did great. And get in touch with me. We'd love to work with you more and help you to get your genius. Okay, so I asked, what do people see in the aura? Digestive issues seem to have cleared. Whoops, let's go the right way here. Yeah, definitely agree with you. Like, look at all of that band around, like all that sort of the cloudy or smoky energy around the yellow band, and we don't see that anymore. It's much more light and bright. There's almost no gray except maybe that little bit in the center around that heart chakra. And then the really nice yellow, it's a little bit muted. And so there's still maybe some stagnant energy or things to clear. We did only do a couple of minutes of balancing, but it's so much better. Tina says the core energy seems to have strengthened, seems to have moved from the stagnant energy out. I totally agree with you. Marie says there's lighter colors. The digestive problems have improved. There seems to be a lot of agreement about that from all of you wonderful and talented practitioners. Clear edges, not as fuzzy. Candy, I totally agree with you. The new one is brighter, says Joseph. Agree with you there. So much brighter, more clarity, says Araya. Margaret says more vibrant and light. I totally agree with you. You know, I'm really enjoying this new aura function as we learn more about it, as we really understand what's trying to tell us. It really does have a lot of information. And for the client side, it has a lot of color to it. It has a lot of interesting things for them to look at. And so I do really find it to be a wonderful advancement that we have in our new version of the Genius. So I think it's really, really cool. Does energy leak at the crown? That's Terry's looking into all the details. Congratulations to Terry for just getting his Genius. Big congratulations to you. And thank you for being part of our Genius community. And thank you for being part of our Genius veteran community, if I can say that. And we'd like to maybe help our vets to connect with each other if we're able to possibly do that. So Darren, if you're on here today, make sure you get in touch with me. Maybe we can get other people connected who want to talk together. Okay, so now just going back to this, so we have dark to light, sort of dark to light. That's what it looks like. And I think your interpretations are very spot on, trying to see anything else. I'm trying to look for that crown. So yeah, a little bit of, I think it's actually, let's just look at the previous one. Is it more fuzzy here and has it moved into, it's sort of equally fuzzy, I think, at the top. I almost think it's improved a little bit. I'd say if there's any leaking, it actually seems kind of minor, but I do think it could be improved. So very, very good. And just go back to here. So yeah, it's, you know, when you say like, I've tried, I do have people who come into my practice and they say, you know, well, I've tried that before, Dr. Ariel, it's not going to work, but it's so different from practitioner to practitioner. So what I consider to be a cleanse or a good diet could be totally different from maybe somebody who does like a ketosis cleanse, or maybe they do a carnivore cleanse where you only eat meat. I wouldn't consider that to be in the same realm of things that I recommend. Okay, it's too bad we can't stitch the before and after side by side. Well, you could certainly do that. Why don't you create a scenario where you can do it? You could actually create a folder for all of your auras. You could take a screenshot of it, and then you could put it into an email, or you could create a document with the before and after. So you could definitely do that. All right, this has been a class all about the meridians. We've been talking about the Chinese meridians today. We'll be back next week talking about detox strategies, but we will continue moving forward to talk more about the meridians because it's such a popular interest for people. And also, you really can do a lot with the meridians. And so I did say I was going to do something before I go. Let me just show you this really quickly. Last 30 seconds, you go to the meridians, you pull up your kidney meridian. We're going to put it into the quick zap, and then you pull all of your reds and all of your blues from the kidney meridian. There aren't a lot, so let's just go ahead and put the blues up there. We have to work from this tray. So here, let's put all of our yellow, all the yellow and all the blue up in there. And, or we can even just do, you could do all of the points as well. So that's another idea. You could put all the points in there. And then you basically just balance that for a minute, for 3 minutes, for, you know, for 5 minutes or 6 minutes, going back to Dawn's question. So that's how you do it. And that's a wonderful way to build energy, to build the reserves up in that kidney meridian. So I think it would be a great tonic practice if you wanted to do it at the beginning of a session, at the end of a session, or just make sure that you include it in the session. You can always work back and forth between quick zap and main whole tray. You can do some balancing and progressive insights, and then you can go back and do focused balancing within the quick zap tray. And you can always clear the tray by using the little clear function, which is right here. Hang on 1 second. Okay, so you could always clear it out and do another topic in there, do another meridian in there, completely up to you. All right, final words here. Where can I review this recording? So this class has been live streamed to YouTube. So please look for my name on YouTube, Ariel Policano. It's probably been in the little corner there the whole time, so you can see the spelling. And then subscribe to the channel and ring that bell, get notifications, that whole thing. And all of our classes are actually on my YouTube channel, and then they also are sent to the Rumble channel. Now, just as I'm sort of reading the final comments here, just for fun, let's go back and see if we can get one more aura picture, although that does take a long time. After running the kidney meridian, what does the aura look like? Okay, there are apps that do auras together. So Barbara, I guess you could share what that is. I don't know what that is. Isn't it wonderful? We have all those choices for cleansing. I agree with you, Helen. It definitely is. Okay, I email before and after to my clients. Interesting. The kidney meridian kind of goes deep for Christina. So I know a lot of you are going to think, oh my gosh, why do we move back into these dark colors? And you know, when you're working on a new meridian, you're working on that whole kidney meridian, it might take her into a deeper level now. We might move into, remember that your genius goes through peaks and valleys. And so you're going to go up into those high colors, and then you're going to go back down, dip down into something deeper. And if we ran it for another few minutes, we would probably see even brighter colors come back. So try it yourself and try running that kidney meridian on yourself. And remember to pay attention to kidney 1, the bubbling spring, whether with terahertz or walking outside in the morning, or just learn how to bring acupuncture to that kidney 1 point. Very, very powerful. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week. You can get in touch at Ariel at geniusbiofeedback.com. We'll see you during the week at one of the other classes. Check out our events page at geniusbiofeedback.com. See you later. Bye-bye for now.